I hope I know it well. Okay, well, she used to be the company secretary of the company, of Standard Alliance. She's now seated as a member of the board of directors. The representative of NICOM, Mr. Oseni Rashid, is on his way. One other director, Chief Ozoma, is also on his way. We hope he will get here. I understand he's stuck in traffic. The representative of NICOM, National Insurance Commission, Mr. Oseni Rashid, can you stand up to be recognized? He's on his way. Okay. The representative of Nigerian Stock Exchange, Mr. Bonaventure Onwuji. The representative of Securities and Exchange Commission, Mrs. Ikinadose Mobolaji, will join us virtually. The representatives of external auditors are also here. BDO Professional Services, Mr. Wahab Afolabi, and Mr. Motala Fawole. The members of the audit committee present here are Mr. Gafar. No other person here. The other two members, Mr. Matthew Esonaja and Mr. Godwin. And now call upon the secretary to read the notice convening the meeting.
Of the Secretary of Standard Alliance Insurance. Notice of the 22nd Annual General Meeting. Notice is hereby given that the 22nd Annual General Meeting of Standard Alliance Insurance PLC we hold at the Eventual, which is what is happening right now, Plot 1, Block 94, Providence Street, Lekki Phase 1, Lekki, Lagos, on 30th September 2020 at 11 a.m. prompt to transact the following business. Ordinary business. 1. To receive the annual financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2017, together with the report of the directors, auditors, and audit committee thereof. 2. To receive the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2018, together with the report of the directors, auditors, and audit committee thereof. 3. To rectify the appointment of the following directors who were appointed since the last general meeting. 1. Mr. Omotayo Oyeregbe Awodiye. Mr. Uduniyi Udusi. Mr. Uzoma Igbowan. Mr. Alaju Uwayas Aruna Mohammed. Mrs. Agnes Okemete Umukoro. 4. To re-elect the following directors who, in accordance with the Article 83 of the Company's Article of Association, retire by rotation and being eligible offers himself for re-election. Mr. Johnson Chukwu. 5. To appoint Motari Dangana and Co. Limited as the auditors of the company and to authorize the directors to fix their remuneration. 6. To elect members of the audit committee. Special business. To consider and, if thought fit, pass the following resolutions as ordinary resolutions. 1. To fix the remuneration of the directors dated this 4th day of September 2020 by order of the board. Thank you.
Thank you, the company secretary. I now read the chairman's statement contained in the annual report, or with the approval of the members of the chairman's statement can be taken as read. Okay, good. Before I proceed to the first item on the agenda, I wish to let you know that you are free to ask questions, make comments, or second a motion. Should you wish to do any of this, Kindly indicate by raising your hand at any point of the meeting and you'll be appropriately recognized. Once recognized, you must please introduce yourself before proceeding to make your contributions. Item number 1 on the agenda is to receive and adopt the audited financial statements together with the reports of the directors, auditors' report, and audit committee's report therein for the year ended 31st of December 2017. I now call on the auditors to read the report.
And if it is Vivian, she needs a little break. Honestly.
Report of independent auditors. We have 2 reports. 2017 is on pages 39 to 42. Then 2018 is on pages 118 to 121. So I'll crave the indulgence of the chairman, distinguished members, to read that of 2018. Or I should go through everything? Okay.
The 2 of them, okay. Okay, great. Okay.
I so move. My name is David.
Okay. Thank you, Eke. Who is seconding? Thank you. Any objection? In the absence of any objection, the motion is unanimously passed that the auditors should read the 2 reports at the same time. 2017 and 2018, yeah, and 2018, yes. Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So, page 118. Independent auditors report to the shareholders of Standard Alliance Insurance PSC. Report on the audit of the financial statement. Opinion. We have audited the financial statement of Standard Alliance Insurance PSC, which comprised the statement of financial position as at 31 December 2018, statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and note to the financial statement, including a summary of significant accounting policy and other explanatory notes. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statement gives a true and fair view of the financial position of the company as at 31 December 2018 and of its financial performance and cash flows for the year then ended, in accordance with international financial reporting standards issued by the International Accounting Standard Board and in compliance with relevant provision of the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act No. 6, 2011, the Companies and Allied Matter Act, Cap C20 LFN 2004, Insurance Act, Cap I-17 LFN 2004, and the Prudential Guideline issued by the National Insurance Commission. Basis for opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with international standards on auditing. Our responsibility under those standards are further described in the auditor responsibility for the audit of the financial statement section of our report. We are independent of the company in accordance with International Ethics Standard Board Code for Accountant Code of Ethics for professional accountants, together with the ethical requirements that are relevant to our audit of financial statements in Nigeria. And we have fulfilled our other ethical responsibility in accordance with this requirement and the International Ethics Standard Board Code. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. Key audit matters. Key audit matters are those matters that, in our professional judgment, were of most significant in our audit of the financial statement of the current period. These matters were addressed in the context of the audit of the financial statement as a whole and informing our opinion thereon, and we do not provide a separate opinion on these matters. Revenue recognition. Due to the large number of policies underwritten by the company, there is a risk that the revenue recorded in the financial statement and the flow of premium from the underwriting system to the financial reporting ledger may not be completely accounted for. Response: we have tested and designed an implementation of the key controls over revenue recognition, focusing on the flow of information from the underwriting system to financial reporting ledgers. In addition, we perform substantive analytical testing procedure on the gross and unearned premium balances, amongst others. Valuation of investment properties. The directors have estimated the value of company's investment property to be 4.1 billion as at 31 December 2018. Independent external valuations were obtained in order to support the value in the company's financial statement. These valuations are dependent on certain key assumptions and significant judgment, including capitalization rates and fair market rents. Our response: we ascertained the following. We evaluated the independent external valuer's competence, capability, and objectivity, assessed the methodologies used and the appropriateness of key assumptions, checked the accuracy and relevance of input data. We also review and fund the disclosure in the notes to the financial statement on the assumption to be appropriate. Valuation of insurance contract liability. The directors have estimated the value of insurance contract liability in the company financial statement to be 4.6 billion as at the year ended 31 December 2018, based on the actuarial valuation and liability adequacy tests carried out by external firm of actuaries. The valuation has been made on the following key assumptions, which were determined by the actuary. 1. Reserves were calculated via cash flow projection approach, taking into account future premiums, expenses, and benefit payment, including an allowance for benefits. 2. The unexpired premium reserve for general business is on the assumption that the risk will occur evenly over the duration of the policy. 3. The company's claim payment approach will be sustained to the future. Weighted past average inflation will remain unchanged over the claim projection period. Gross claim amount include all related claim expenses. An expired premium reserve was included for group life business after allowing for acquisition expenses at a ratio of 20% premium. An allowance for the IBNR, that's incurred but not reported claims, in group life to take care of the delay in reporting claims. Our response: we evaluated and validated controls over insurance contract liabilities, evaluated independent actuaries' competence, capability, and objectivity, assessed the methodology used and the appropriateness of the key assumptions, checked the accuracy and relevance of data provided to the actuary by management, reviewed the result based on the assumption. Other information. The directors are responsible for the other information. The other information comprises information included in the chairman's and director's statement, but does not include the financial statement and our auditor's report thereon. Our opinion on the financial statement does not cover the other information, and we do not express any form of assurance conclusion thereon. In connection with our audit of the financial statement, our responsibility is to read the other information and, in doing so, consider whether the other information is materially inconsistent with the financial statement or our knowledge obtained during the audit, or otherwise appear to be materially misstatement. If, based on the work we have performed, we conclude that there is a material misstatement of this information, we are required to report this fact. We have nothing to report in this regard. Responsibility of the directors for the financial statement. The directors are responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of the financial statement in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standard issued by the International Accounting Standard Board, and in compliance with the relevant provision of the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act No. 6, 2011, the Company and Allied Matter Act, CAPC 20 LFN 2004, Insurance Act, CAPI 17 2000, and the Prudential Guideline issued by the National Insurance Commission. And for such internal control as the director determines is necessary to enable the preparation of financial statements that are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error. In preparing the financial statement, the director are responsible for assessing the company's ability to continue as a going concern, disclosing as applicable matter related to going concern, and using the going concern basis of accounting unless the director either intends to liquidate the company or to cease operation or has no realistic alternative but to do so. Auditor responsible for the audit of the financial statement. Our objective are to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statement as a whole are free from material misstatement, whether due to error or fraud, or to issue the report that includes our opinion. Reasonable assurance is a high level of assurance, but it's not a guarantee that audit conducted in accordance with international standards on auditing will always detect a material misstatement when it exists. Misstatement can arise from fraud or error and are considered material if individually or in aggregate they could reasonably be expected to influence the economic decision of user taken on the basis of this financial statement. As part of our audit, in accordance with international standard on auditing, we exercise professional judgment and maintain professional skepticism throughout the audit. We also identify and assess the risk of material misstatement of financial statement, whether due to fraud or error, and design and perform audit procedure responsive to those risks, and obtain audit evidence that is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. The risk of not detecting a material misstatement resulting from fraud is higher than for one resulting from error, as fraud may involve collusion, forgery, intentional omission, misrepresentation, and the override of internal control. Obtain an understanding of internal control relevant to the audit in order to design audit procedure that are appropriate in these circumstances, but not for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of the company's internal control. Evaluate the appropriateness of accounting policy use and reasonableness of accounting estimates and related disclosure made by director. Conclude on the appropriateness of director use of going concern basis of accounting based on the audit evidence obtained, whether the material uncertainty exists related to events or conditions that may cast significant doubt about the company's ability to continue as a going concern. If we conclude that a material uncertainty exists, we are required to draw attention in our auditor's report to the related disclosure in the financial statement, or if such disclosure are inadequate, to modify our opinion. Our conclusions are based on the audit evidence obtained up to the date of our auditor's report. However, future events or conditions may cause the company to cease to continue as a going concern. Evaluate the overall presentation, structure, and content of the financial statement, including disclosures and whether the financial statement represent the underlying transaction and event in a manner that achieve fair presentation. We communicate with the directors regarding, among other matters, the planned scope and timing of the audit and significant audit findings and any significant deficiency in internal control that we identify during the audit. Contravention of laws and regulations. During the year, the company contravened certain sections of Insurance Act, Cap I-17, LFN 2004, and NICOM's operational guideline. Details of contravention and appropriate penalty thereon are disclosed in Note 44. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. The Companies and Allied Matter Act, Cap C-20, LFN 2004, and Insurance Act, Cap I-17, LFN 2004, requires that in carrying out our audit, we consider and report to you on the following matters. We confirm that we have obtained all the information and explanation which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of the audit. In our opinion, proper books of account have been kept by company. The company statement of financial position and the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of account. Signed by Olugbemi Gaye Akinbayo for BDO Professional Services, dated 24 December 2019. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All protocols are observed. Report of the Audit Committee to members of Standard Alliance Insurance PLC. In accordance with the provision of Section 359, subsection 6 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap C20, of the laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004. We, the members of the Audit Committee of Standard Alliance Insurance PLC, having carried out our statutory functions under the Act, hereby report as follows. We have reviewed the scope and planning of the audit for the year ended 31st December 2017 and 2018, and we confirmed that they were adequate. The company's reporting and accounting policies, as well as internal control systems, conform to legal requirements and agreed ethical practices. We are satisfied with the departmental responses to the external auditor's findings on management matters for the years ended 31st December 2017 and 2018. Finally, we acknowledge and appreciate the cooperation of management and staff in the conduct of these duties. Signed by the chairman of the audit committee, Mr. Austin, and other members of the committee are Mr. Austin, the chairman, Mr. Etiweuwa, director, Mrs. Adetayo Akintunde, director, Mr. Matthew Esananjo, shareholder representative member, Mr. Godwin Anono, shareholder representative member, then Mr. Irinfolami Gafar, shareholder representative member. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gafar. Are there questions shareholders wish to ask about the company general activities and points arising from the financial statements for the year ended 31st of December 2000? Yes, ma'am.
The chairman, members of audit committee, regulatory authority present, eminent shareholder, I say good morning. My name is Esther Funke Augustine. Mr. Chairman, let me start my comment from page 9, where we have our bank listed. Sky Bank is no more Sky Bank, it's Polish Bank. So in the nearest future, we should not use that name again. We don't know that bank anymore. Then, unclaimed dividends, sir. Those is on page 11. Those who have money with us, what are we doing to let them know that we have their money with us? Because it could have been printed in this annual report for many people to know that their dividend is still with us. Then our last AGM was 2016, sir, and we are now in 2020. We still have outstanding of AGM from, I know that we are considering the two together now, but what about 2019 and 2020 now? When are we having them? Then another thing is this condition of the company. From the annual report, what I gather here is not encouraging at all. They are saying it that if two brothers go inside and they discuss with themselves, and two of them, when you see them, they are laughing, it really shows that they have not told themselves the truth. But when they tell themselves truth, you will see this one back this one. The eye will be red because they have told themselves the truth. So I want us, the advice that I will give our company this morning, because the annual report himself is historical. So we have done well in the past, and that is why I'm sympathizing with the company right now because of the situation. In agriculture sector, what are we doing there? How is the sector doing? Are they doing well? So I will want us to look into our competitor. There are other insurance companies. Though I know that insurance company is not an easy business.
The two speakers have said, we have the audit committee representing the shareholder. I believe for a good governor, we should have at least 4 meetings in a year, but we have 3. Please kindly improve on that. Then let the communication gap. You see, I always say it anywhere I go. If there is no annual meeting, it's not the best for any company. Because I've worked in an insurance brokerage firm before. There's a lot of products that you can tap in and can turn our company to higher ground. And I pray God will lift up this company to its normal position in the name of Jesus. So by the next time we are meeting, I'll be laughing more than this. I can ask Mama to put fire on water on fire, and I know by the time we are going back, there will be dividends.
Okay. I hereby move that the report of the directors, auditors, audit committee, and audited accounts for the year ended 31st of December 2017, now submitted at this meeting, be and are hereby adopted. Can somebody move that motion? Would those in favor of the motion please signify by raising their right hands? Would those against the motion please signify by raising their hands? So no dissenting vote. I declare the motion carried unanimously. Item number 3 is to rectify the appointment of the following directors who were appointed since the last annual general meeting. Mr. Omotayo Awodia, the managing director. You can stand up. Mr. Oduni Odusi, executive director. Mr. Ozomi Bonwa is not here yet. Mr. Wise Haruna Mohammed. Ms. Agnes Okemutu Umukoro. Would someone please rise and propose a motion for the approval of the appointment by a single resolution? And now put the motion to the meeting. Would those in favor of the motion please signify by raising their right hands? Would those against the motion please signify by raising their hands? Against the motion? No, we have. Can you count? Can we count? So I declare the motion carried by a majority vote. Mr. Omotayo Awodia joined the company as the managing director after the last annual general meeting. I hereby now put the motion. Would someone please rise and propose a motion for the approval of the appointment of Mr. Omotayo Awodia as the managing director of the company? Would anybody please second? Okay. I put the motion to the meeting. Would those in favor of Mr. Awodiya's appointment as the director please signify it by raising their right hand? Would those against please signify by raising their hands? No dissenting voice. declare the motion carried unanimously. Sit down. Oduni Junsi joined the company as executive director after the last AG. Would someone please rise and propose a motion for the approval of the appointment Mr. Oduni Junsi as executive director of the company? Would somebody please second the motion? Your name? Okay, I put the motion to the those in favor of the motion for the appointment of Oduni Odunsi as executive director, please signify by raising their right hands. Would those against please signify by raising their hand? In voice, I declare the motion carried unanimously. Mr. Owais Haruna Mohammed joined the company as an independent director and as an independent executive director after the last AGM meeting. Will someone please rise and propose a motion for the approval of his appointment as an independent non-executive director of Standard Alliance Insurance PLC? Thank you. Will somebody please second that motion? Thank you. Would those in favor of the motion please signify by raising their hands? Thank you. Would those against the motion please indicate by raising their hands? No dissent. I declare the motion unanimously carried. Okay, Miss Agnes Okemitu Umukoro. Miss Agnes Okemitu Umukoro, non-executive director after the last annual general meeting. Would someone please rise and propose a motion for the approval of Miss Agnes Okemitu Umukoro as non-executive director? Someone rise, please. Rise and propose. Mr. Uzoma Ibonwa joined the company as a non-executive director after the last annual general meeting. He will certainly join us still here while we're in the meeting. Would someone please rise and propose a motion for the approval of the annual general meeting for the appointment of Mr. Uzoma Ibonwa as a non-executive director of Standard Alliance Insurance PLC? Can we stand? Can you stand and propose? Will somebody please second the motion? Okay, would those in favor of the motion please signify by raising their hands? Thank you. Would those against the motion please indicate by raising their hands? No dissent. I declare the motion unanimously passed. The following directors have resolution for their appointment as directors of the company approved at the annual general meeting. Mr. Omotaya Oyerogba Awodia, Managing Director. Mr. Oduniyi Odusi, Executive Director. Mr. Owais Mohammed Haruna. Ms. Agnes Okemitu Umukoro, and Mr. Uzoma Ibonwa. They are here, and are hereby approved. There's no point for this one again. We've taken this. Okay. Item number 4 on the agenda is to re-elect a retiring director. 1/3 of the directors. Item number 4 on the agenda is to re-elect a retiring director. 1/3 of the directors, except working directors, shall retire in accordance with Article 83, subsection 2 and 3 of the Companies Article Association, and being eligible have offered himself for re-election. As the chairman, I will now yield my position as the chairman to Mr. Haruna Owais to act as the chairman while I step down to be re-elected.
The names of the directors who retired and seek re-election in pursuance of Article 83, 2 and 3 is Mr. Johnson Chukwu. Would someone please rise and move the motion for the re-election of the director? Can somebody second, please? So by raise of hands, can you, those are in support, please? And those that are opposed? None. So the motion has been passed unanimously.
Yes. Okay, item number 5 is to appoint Mrs. Mutari Dangana and co. as auditors of the company until the conclusion of the next annual general meeting, subject to NICOM's approval, and to authorize the director to fix the remuneration of the auditors. The current auditors are retiring after 10 years as required under the Financial Regulation Act, Financial Reporting Council Act. So, and that's why we're proposing to the annual general meeting for appointment of another audit firm, that is Mrs. Mutari Dangana and co. Would someone please rise and move the motion for the approval of the auditor's appointment? Would someone please rise and second the motion?
I second. My name is
Would those in favor of this motion please signify by raising their right hands? Would those against the motion please indicate by raising their right hands? No dissenting vote. I declare the motion carried unanimously. The next item, item number 6, is to re-elect members of the Statutory Audit Committee. Pursuant to Section 359, subsection 4 and 5 of the Companies Allied Matters Act, Cap C20, Volume 3, Laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 2004, an audit committee shall consist of an equal number of directors and representatives of the shareholders, subject to a maximum of 6 members, and shall examine the auditor's report and make recommendations to the annual general meeting. Such members shall be subject to re-election annually. The board of directors of the company, in compliance with the Act, has nominated 3 directors to join the shareholders statutory audit committee, Those nominated are Alhaji Owais Haruna Mohammed, Mr. Uzoma Ibonwa, or Chief Uzoma Ibonwa, and Ms. Agnes Umukoro. In accordance with Section 359, subsection 5 of the Company Alliance Matters Act, Cap C20, Volume 3, Laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 2004, the following nominations were validly received from the shareholders for election as members of the Audit Committee. Mr. Matthew Esonaja, Mr. Godwin Anono, who had just arrived, and Mr. Erin Folami Gafar. They have all been nominated to continue in office and are qualified for reappointment. There be no other nominations, and in view of the fact that 3 slots are available to be occupied in the committee, may I therefore move a motion that Mr. Matthew Esonoja, Mr. Godwin Anono, Mr. Erin Folami Gafar be and are hereby elected as audit committee members. Will someone please rise and second the motion? Those of you in favor of the motion, please raise your hands. Those who are against the motion, please raise your right hands. No dissenting voice. I declare the motion carried unanimously. Special business on the agenda is as follows: to consider and, if thought fit, pass the following resolution before being proposed as ordinary resolution. Item number 1 is to fix the remuneration of the directors. It is proposed that the Board of Directors should fix their annual fees and now call upon a member of the company to formally move, pursuant to Section 267, subsection 1 of CAMA, the following resolution that the board should fix their annual fees. Would someone please second the motion? Would someone please move the motion? Go ahead. The director's fees, it must be here. Okay. Okay, let me just read out the figures without even waiting for them. The sitting allowance for the chairman is 150,000 per sitting, and for the other directors, 120,000. The board suspended the annual allowances until the company's financial fortunes improved. So we decided to forego our annual allowances. And that has been on for the past 4 or 5 years. That's obviously why you're not seeing that annual allowance in the audited account. Where is it? Okay, with that information, would someone now please move the motion that the directors fix the annual sitting allowance at the current levels of 150,000 for the chairman and 120,000 for the other directors? Can somebody please move that motion? Okay, would someone please second? Would those in favor of the motion please signify by raising their right hands? Thank you. Would those against please indicate by raising their right hand? Okay, no dissent. I hereby declare the motion carried unanimously. Before we go to the closing remarks, I want to now formally introduce Chief Uzoma Ibonwa who you have already elected even in his absence. Like I told you, he lost his in-law and just coming from the burial. So our condolences. Okay. So before we bring the meeting, make the closing remark, I think we need to address the questions that were raised earlier so that we don't lose track of that. I think the first set of questions were raised by Mrs. Esther Funke Augustine. You referred to page 9 where you say that Skybank was reported and the Skybank is now known as Polaris. I will also take that with the same questions raised by Prince Oyenuga, where you also pointed to page 71 where we have Dangote Flour and Diamond Bank. The problem was that this account was for 2017, and as at that time, Skybank was still in existence, and Diamond Bank as well as Dangote Flour were all still in existence. So that's why we had to carry them at their names as at then. The other issue raised by Mrs. Augustine is what are we doing for the unclaimed dividend for those shareholders with unclaimed dividend to have their money. About what we're doing, which is to create awareness for people to log in. There's also what Nigerian Stock Exchange and Securities Exchange Commission have done. If you log into their website, there's a link you can actually check all your unclaimed dividend for all your companies. If you just put your name there, it will indicate wherever you have unclaimed dividend. So these are to make it possible for people who have unclaimed dividend to access the unclaimed dividend. Again, if you go to your stockbrokers, and I'm making this a public announcement, if you go to your stockbrokers and fill the e-dividend warrant, and ask them to also check for all your outstanding dividend, they will do that and ensure that all those things are passed on to you. But as a company, what we have done is to align with what the regulators are doing to ensure that shareholders who have unclaimed dividend access their claim. Once the claims are made, you get it automatically. It will be created straight to your account. We need to look at the strategies of other insurance companies to know why they are doing better than Standard Alliance. Because of time constraint, I would have told us all the strategies were put in place. We are conscious of what is driving success in the industry. We are conscious of what our competitors are doing. We've had our own challenges, but the good thing is those challenges are behind us. You can see the composition of the directorship today is completely at variance what it was the last annual general meeting. You've seen a complete makeover of the executive director cadre, and you've also seen a complete makeover of the non-executive director cadre. So those are the measures we'll put in place to restore growth and competitiveness for our company. And we are hoping, we hope the trade is not a strategy. We are sure, or we know that with the strategy we put in place, very soon we'll gather here to slap each other and celebrate the sharing of dividend, restoration of dividend and benefits to all the shareholders. Then Eke Chibuzo, Eke Chibuzo Emmanuel, who is the General Secretary of Independent Shareholder Association, who claims is the largest group of shareholders in Africa. He asks how we prepared for the recapitalization process. Do we have plans for measures or acquisition? He also asks how strong are we to retain and maintain our market share. I will start from the second question, which also aligns with the earlier response I gave, that we've seen a makeover of the directorship of your company. And the reason we have done that is to make sure we have people who can compete in the market, who have market presence, who have pedigree and the right contact and experience. We have reconsidered the directorate of the company, and we know that with the quality of men we have now, and with the support of the shareholders and the support of our regulators, that we will not just compete, we will outcompete our competitors. Then on the recapitalization, we had actually obtained the resolution at the last annual general meeting from you shareholders to permit the directors to raise additional capital to go into any form of combination, either acquisition, mergers, so as to meet the regulatory capital and position the company as a major force in the industry. So we, as your appointed agents, are driving that process. In the not distant future, we call an EGM for you to approve some of our capitalization arrangements. But we can assure you that we are taking every steps to protect the brand equity, the brand identity, and your interest as owners of this company. Then finally, Prince Oyenuga asks on the impairment of Lagoon Savings and Loans. As you may know, if you look at the annual report you referred to, page 74, Lagoon Savings and Home, we had to write off our investment in Lagoon Savings and Home because the company has gone under. So if we continue to carry that asset on our book, it will not represent the facts. So as a prudent entity, we have written off, that's the impairment you saw there because the company, as you know, no longer exists. So whatever investment we had there had gone with the exit of that company. I think those are the questions. Maybe I will allow Yid Space to Managing Director to touch on any of these questions, to add one or two things to what my responses. I think I'm okay. No, you can't say you're okay. At least talk about the future.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, good day, everybody. The chairman really spoke about the recapitalization plan and that an EGM will be coming very soon to, get approval of the shareholders to go ahead with the plans we are putting in place. So we know that we have the first phase of the recapitalization is by the end of this year, which is December 31st. And as a composite company, we are expected to meet up with 9 billion capitalization by that time. And every step is being taken. Just like the chairman said, that the brand, we want to maintain the brand, and we will ensure that is done. Then, no doubt we are having some challenges, but again, we know that with the recapitalization, all those challenges, of course, they all answer to money. So once we have enough funds in the system, we are very, very sure that we are well positioned to, with the commitment of the staff. A lot of things have been, a lot of steps we have taken in the system to ensure that we are able to forge ahead. So many things we have done, and by the grace of God, we believe that putting recapitalization behind us, we are ready to come back to our known brand and the kind of vibe we used to have in the past. We are seizing this opportunity to assure every stakeholder and especially our shareholders that before too long, we shall all be clapping for ourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you, the MD. Okay, as there's no other business for which the due statutory notice has been given, I wish to thank you all on behalf of the board for attending this meeting and for showing much interest in the company's affairs. I hereby declare the meeting closed. May I request Alhaji Haruna Owais to give us a closing prayer.
Let's pray. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we please remain standing for the national anthem? Thank you all and remain blessed.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.